Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and I have an update. That's right. Earlier we talked about what was supposed to be a really scary situation down in a trailer park in Oklahoma. Yes, scary. There's probably a lot of scary situations that happen in a trailer park in Oklahoma, but this particular scary situation was all over the news down there, and it was talking about this massive cat-eating 13-foot reticulated python that was loose and running amok and eating all the stray cats. You can find that on the news if you like. It's there. We posted links in our last video so you could see it for yourself, I believe. Kurt spliced in some of those things. By the way, before we give you the update on this, which we're going to give you the update and all of its hauntingly terrifying cat-eating details. Stay tuned. Go ahead and click like, subscribe, and check out our Patreon. Now, don't forget that little notification bell too. So what really happened? We actually now have those answers. Now, if you recall, we did our video. We made some predictions about what we thought about this 13-foot long cat-eating snake. Remember, in the original news article, they'd hire these experts to go get the snake, and they looked under the trailer and saw all these carcasses and all of this, and this terrifying snake was going to crawl over the fence because there was no fence, so because it can't crawl over a fence apparently, and go eat the children in the neighborhood school beside us. And by God, we had dogs. I don't think that was the original that came out later. They were getting dogs to attach it, making snake traps, and doing all these things because they were experts and going to catch this 13-foot long trailer park cat-eating python. So what really happened? Well, just so happens, I've got the news story. This is from Fox 59. I want to give the source out, which is KFOR down there in Oklahoma City. And it's by a guy named Dylan Brown. Probably Dylan Brown, but he spells it with a Y, so we're going to call him Dylan Brown. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to call him Dylan Brown because Dylan did a good job on this. And this posted October 26, 2023. It's pretty recent, right? It says, Oklahoma City, KFOR. After surviving 6 months inside a southeast Oklahoma City trailer park, which, let's be honest, that's a feat in and of itself, an albino python was found and wrangled by a man who lived there. Man, I'm telling you, Trailer Park Boys could not write this episode, and I absolutely love that show. Quotations. The thing was found under the same home that management had thought it was under. So that is one win for the media and for the original reporting, right? It said it was probably under this trailer, and it was. Said one anonymous resident. One of the neighbors came out around 2 this morning and grabbed it. They put it in a hamper, sealed it with duct tape, and left it out front of their home until the office opened up to take care of it. So, I want to run by here. We had dogs, experts, thermal cameras. That's right. Somebody used thermal cameras to catch a cold-blooded animal. I wish, oh my God. And they're the experts. Like, I can't even make this shit up. And what happens today? A guy goes outside and goes, well, by God, there's a python there. Grabs it, puts it in a hamper, uses some duct tape, and done. We didn't need experts. We just need somebody paying half-ass attention. Shout out to the guy who put it in the hamper. You know what? That's what you should do. Good job, buddy. I'm all for that. Didn't hurt it. Nobody took a hoe to it. This guy did a good job. We didn't really need the animal control expert in this case because, well, they were screwing it up. It says the snake is now in the hands of Michael Wilkins of Oklahoma Exotics and Rescue. First of all, I want to tell you before we get any further in the story, excellent spot. From what I can tell from just reading this article, it's with a good place. So that is good. So there's a few things that happened well. I do want to highlight the good because oh God, we're going to talk about the bad, y'all. The good is the snake wasn't killed. It was placed in a proper spot with somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. That's all kudos, right? That's all kudos. It had been surviving in Burntwood Mobile Home Park. Okay. Experts had said previously that after viewing it through their cameras, they believed it was 13 feet long. It's 8. The difference in an 8-foot and 13 feet snake, you're saying, well, Matt, that's pretty simple. It's 5 feet. 5 feet's a lot, okay? 5 feet. We give Kurt a hard time about not being super tall, right? There's not a 5-foot difference between Kurt and fucking Shaquille O'Neal, okay? Kurt is within 5 feet of Manute Bull. Every human being is. 5 feet is a lot. That's a lot. And 5 feet in a snake is also going to add a certain amount of girth. The difference in seeing a 13-foot snake and an 8-foot snake is fucking massive. You're not an expert if you look at a snake and say, that's 13 feet and it's 8 feet. Don't call yourself an expert when it comes to snakes if you do that. You're like every lady I've ever talked to who saw a black snake while she was driving down the road, freaked out because she saw a snake. Or dudes, a lot of dudes do this too, if I'm being honest. I shouldn't have singled out the ladies. And said, it went across both lanes of traffic. Oh, cool, you found the first 24-foot black snake. Congratulations, because the lane of traffic is 12 feet long. But I digress. It's not 13 feet. And kudos to the news, because this guy kind of called that out covertly. He didn't say this guy's wrong. He just said, hey, originally it was said to be this. So I thought it was... I believe it was 13 feet long, and because residents claimed half the cats were missing in the neighborhood, that it had been eating cats. Man, we covered that. We said no fucking way, right? We said there's no way this Burmese python or reticulated python, whichever one it happens to be, I do believe it was actually a retic, was out there eating cats. Just wasn't happening. We called bullshit on that from moment one. So... what it goes on to say? Well, they talked to Mr. Wilkins again, because he's the guy that has it. He actually knows what he's talking about. This dude's actually a snake expert, not the whoever the hell they tried to hire. He said, no, I would say it is about 8 feet, maybe a little more. So 8 foot to 8.5 feet, it's kind of hard to measure when they don't sit still. Said Wilkins, while taking out the snake to show Nexstar's KFOR. Yeah, what a killer, taken out. It's a juvenile, maybe a little older, and he is not in the best of shape. So if you're used to ball pythons, you're like, how's a juvenile that big? Retics grow exceptionally fast, so that would be a juvenile there. He's right on par. But it says not in the best of shape, right? Wilkins said the python hadn't eaten in quite some time. Bing! We were right there. It ain't out there eating fucking cats. It's not eating. This is why I hate when the media gets a snake story. It grows, it doubles in size, which 8 to 13 feet, yeah, that's not doubled in length, but it would be overly doubled in weight. So it doubles in size. It now is doing something that everybody thinks is abhorrent. And all these things that animal never did. Like, never happened. Ever. So Wilkins said the pythons hadn't eaten in quite some time. And then in quotations, as you'll notice, he is about 8 feet long and has not eaten any cats or any other wild animals recently. There you go. Oklahoma Exotics Rescue and Sanctuary post on their Facebook page. He said, honestly, after this weekend, he probably wouldn't even be alive. This weekend would have killed him because we're supposed to be seeing a freeze, said Wilkins, which is also true. These are not going to take over. Yes, the Burmese python has a foothold in the Everglades, mostly because of a hurricane, not so much because rednecks are letting pets go. Oh, hey, rednecks, stop letting fucking pets go. That goes for us too, which I'm kind of a redneck. Stop letting pets go. We shouldn't do that. That's bad. Nobody should do that. But that's not what really caused the problem. It might have been the hurricane that ripped open a research facility and dumped a whole bunch all at once. Just going to throw that out there. But they're not going to take a foothold in Oklahoma. It's not going to happen. This was always going to be a self-solving problem. The reason I'm really excited it didn't self-solve is because now the animal didn't die needlessly because of either one of two things, lack of concern or care, or two, just a mistake, and that snake got out. And they're way stronger than people realize, and they can get out of a lot of stuff. So, it goes on in the article. For many, the idea of even an 8-foot python slithering nearby had them on edge. I'm just very, very happy it's gone, said a resident identified only as Barbie. I swear to God, it's like whoever wrote this article went and found the most perfect name for this. Who lives with her husband in the neighborhood next to Burntwood. You notice they didn't put the husband's name on there? He's not Ken. If he was Ken, I guarantee his name would be in this article. But he's probably like Steve. They didn't think it was funny. So Barbie, Barbie's, yeah. She goes, Barbie continues, when I would go outside or head into my garage, I was always making sure there wasn't a snake in there, she said. It is just crazy that it was out there that long. I'm so happy it has been caught. Now, I'm not going to give Barbie too much shit other than her name's Barbie. Because, let's be honest, I get that. You're not a snake person. An 8-foot snake's still scary. I understand. Why are they so scary? I don't know. Maybe because you read a news article about it being 13-foot eating cats and going to eat your children at the school. Like, the media made this scary. So I really can't blame Barbie. It's fine. When asked if the snake was any danger to those who lived there, Wilkins said it was raised in captivity, meaning it's not as dangerous as one raised in the wild, but the strength of their constriction could still be dangerous. Now that's true. We know at 8 feet, am I really that concerned with it? I'm probably not. But they are very strong. You need to respect that animal. He's trying very hard there. When I read that quote from the snake expert to the media, what I'm really reading is, I'm trying very hard to say that this animal is not going to be the killer that has been made out to be or really hurt you, but it is still a big animal that has the potential and should be treated with respect. No different than a stray dog, right? I have a niece, God love her, and she went to pet a stray dog one time and it didn't work out. So you just gotta know, right? So, learning moments. You have to respect any animal. That's kind of what that's saying. So he said, I will start right away getting him antibiotics and getting him rehab so because it really has been dangerous for him all this time. Oh my God, that part I'm so excited about. That is definitely kudos, because we're going to get this snake the help it needs and hopefully find it a good home where it won't be escaped in a trailer park making Barbie afraid. So good on how that worked out. According to residents of Burntwood, it took 3 different experts and 2 dogs over the past 2 months to capture the python. Okay, this is my first time I'm going to kind of disagree with that article. If I was writing it, I would say, according to residents of Burntwood, it took 3 different experts and 2 dogs over the past 2 months to fail to capture the python. The experts didn't catch it. We set traps, we got thermal cams, we got python sniffing dogs, which I guess they're thinking Oklahoma, and all this shit, and failed. Because, as it says, but in the end, a resident captured it in one night. Go figure, it's going to crawl out. When on the property of the park, a KFOR reporter was immediately escorted off and was told there was nothing to say. A staff member said an alert would be sent out to the residents, and that is where their statement would be. Okay, Burntwood Trailer Park, that's a real bad look. You're the one who gave statements to the media and hired experts. You're the one that made this shit show of a mess. At least talk to the media and try to get it out there right. And say something like, I don't know, hey, we're happy that this ended well for all. We're happy the snake was caught alive and that, really simple. Bad look. Bad look. And because then they go on, since that happened, it says, in previous reporting, KFOR found that management had warned residents not to talk to the media about the snake. Yes, exclamation point, communities, the company that owns the park, has been sent several emails and sent several phone calls, but has not replied. Man, somebody needs a media handler, because you guys are fucking that up. That would be for the trailer park, not the media. Like, you can't have this story go out there about your location. Tell your residents not to talk to the media. Last I checked, if you live in a trailer park in Oklahoma, you are a free American citizen, and you have the right to speak to whoever the fuck you want, including the media. Do it! Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do that. By God, that is, you have every right. So, horrendous, un-American. It should be Yes Communist, the company that owns the park. That would make more sense. It says the python will stay with Wilkins and the crew at Oklahoma Exotics Rescue and Sanctuary for now. So all in all, this worked out really well, right? But the truth of the statement is, just like we told you when we read the original story, it's not 13 feet. It's not eating cats. No children are in danger. And the expert obviously does not know his ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to snakes. The minute he started talking about thermal imaging and setting traps and finding carcasses under a trailer. If you're finding carcasses under a trailer in Oklahoma, I would start looking at your missing person list, not for a 13-foot python. I'm just going to say that, okay? We might have a Jeffrey Dahmer situation there or something. But obviously, this was overblown by the media. And guys, that's the real problem. So there's a moral to this. We can laugh and make fun of stupid media when they print stupid stories. The second story is pretty good and gave good facts. And the outcome is pretty great, right? Snake got to live. Everybody's happy. Pretty good outcome. But the original story, which got a lot of traction, made some national media, that's how I found out about it, because I don't live in Oklahoma, paints that picture that everybody sees. So we as snake owners have to do a couple things. One, when we see that bullshit and you hear people talking to you about it, call it out. Call it out nicely and polite. Don't be a dick. But call it out. Tell people, like, you know what? Look, I'm telling you, because I do X, Y, and Z, this was a real situation. No different than we all call out that stupid story that makes the rounds every 2 years where the veterinarian supposedly told the lady the python was measuring up or the boa was measuring up to eat her. We all know that's BS, and we all call that BS, but we still hear it, it still gets sent to us, and somebody still asks you that because you're a snake owner. Hey, I read this. And you're like, yeah, that's kind of crappy. It's just a fake story. So call that stuff out when you see it. And 2, we have a responsibility, especially those of us that keep large constrictors, which that ain't me, or venomous snakes, shit, that is me, that if you're going to keep those animals that can be perceived as more dangerous than a simple ball, if this was a ball python, there's no news story here, okay? I'll be honest, there's not. That happens pretty frequently, actually, and it's never a news story other than local news because it's still an oddity. You know, if it was a stray cat, it wouldn't even be reported. But if you keep those animals that are a little on the more dangerous side, you have a responsibility to make sure that you keep them contained and you keep them well, because you don't want to cause this media story to go out there, because no matter how much we as keepers try to mitigate that damage, we're only going to mitigate a small percentage of it. It's this stupid shit that will make us lose our rights. It's these uninformed people in the media, and somebody wanting their 5 minutes of TV time and news time, and now they're an expert snake wrangler, they don't know shit, that is going to make us lose our rights. So be responsible if you choose to keep those pets, I implore you. Kurt, anything else you want to add? Are you happy with how this worked out? Okay. Caleb, anything you want to add?
Fuck the media.
Okay, Caleb just says, fuck the media. I'm with that in some ways. What about how the outcome was? I'm really happy with the outcome.
I'm talking from a cave.
Yeah, I honestly thought this snake, at the end of the day, was going to be killed.
Yeah, I did too. I'm happy with how it ended, especially because it actually went to
a good rescue.
Yeah. I did think the outcome was going to be a dead snake.
Oh, yeah.
And my fear with that was going to be less about... It would have been horrible for the snake, but they would have used that as more fuel.
Oh, yeah. Because if one of those experts killed that snake, the news story would have been... expert animal professional wrangler or whatever has to kill snake to survive. And it'd have been like, if you ever watched South Park, it'd have been literally, it's coming right for us.
My God, it's coming right for us.
Yeah. It would have been that. And it'd have been just eye roll stupid, but people eat that shit up with a spoon. Mm-hmm. So whoever you are, and you probably will never see this, but to the random dude or chick, because it doesn't really specify, who picked that snake up, put it in a hamper, thank you. Thank you very much. To the rescue, who also will probably never see this, but thank you very much. To the reporter who wrote this article, who I'm sure will never see this, thank you very much. To the animal expert from the first article, don't call yourself a reptile expert. I'm sure you're great with possums and raccoons and maybe bats in the attic. Go learn your shit before you open your mouth to the media, because you fucked it up. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Yeah, thermal image guy, you fucked it up! To the original reporter, do your damn homework. Like, everybody, if you would have gone and talked to anybody, they would have told you, just based on the freaking picture, that wasn't a 13-foot snake. But you printed it, didn't you? Why'd you print it? Because you didn't do your research, because you're a shitty reporter, and I challenge you to do better. Because when you do that shit, you fuck me over, so stop it. Anybody else we need to yell at over this? Does that cover it?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So in the end, shame on one reporter, shame on the animal expert, good on one reporter. The second article I thought was really well done.
I mean, can you shame the owner of the snake for getting to this situation?
Yes. Yeah. Shame on you if you let that go, or if you didn't have a good enough enclosure, or if that was my snake and it had gotten out, you could bet your ass I'm out every night.
Yeah.
I'm out every night trying to find it. And when I do find it, so put it back.
Ain't nobody got to know.
Ain't nobody got to know. That's right. Yeah, shame on you for that one. That's another one we could shame, right? Yeah. But I do want to give kudos to those who deserve it, which would be the animal rescue, the resident who didn't freak out and caught it alive and just held it. And that last newspaper article, that was written really well. And I think that was a fair article.
Absolutely.
So I'm all for that. I mean, like I say, wrote about Barbie being afraid. I get that. That's real, but gave the real facts. So kudos to Dylan on that reporting. I hope it wasn't the same report that did both. If you were the same report that did both, hey, you know what? You're going to get a C average because you get an F on the first one, an A on the second. You're at least going to get a passing grade, but you can do better. All right, Kurt, anything else? All right, guys, that's all we got. We'll see you all next time.